it's just not a job for me. It's a passion. So for me, whatever it is, either a project or a book or an exhibition, it has to be fun. Am I gonna learn something? Is the people that I'm gonna be work is enjoyable or not? Is it gonna be an enjoyable experience or not? So that's one thing that I have to make sure. So if it's fun, then it's worth doing, and I'll do it. So that was basically what I feel when I started my first book. The process that I decided, okay, I want to do a book. So I did a book called Encounters back in 2013. Back then, I've been working for like 8 years as a photographer, and as I mentioned, I work mainly in news and for magazine, for newspaper, on newsworthy photograph, newsworthy features and stories. So, but aside from that, I also love photography in general. I love taking pictures of anything, just to sake of taking photographs. So I also have like pictures like this, like a ray of light. It has no word of news, word of anything. It's just a ray of light, but I like it. So in a space of like 7, 8 years, I have a bunch of photographs that I accumulated along the years. And it's all taken by film. Most of them are taken by film with the Leica M6 and also some pocket cameras, but all with films. So after 6, 7 years, I started developing them. I was quite lazy to develop because I developed it myself. And seeing these pictures after 7 years gave me like a fresh idea. What should I do with the pictures? So I had an idea. Hey, if I've been publishing my book in a magazine form, I've seen it in newspaper, I've seen it online, but I want to make it something that I can control fully, that I want to dictate fully on my own. So book was the perfect medium for me at that time. And it was also exciting because I never done it before. I want to learn how to do it. And yeah, it sounds kind of cool. So that was the main motivation I wanted to do it in the first place. So also it's kind of different for me because these pictures are not connected to one another. So it's not newsworthy. Every pictures is just like random pictures from each other. But I realized something that quite liberating as a photographer that I didn't think about because I work so much as a photojournalist that you can do anything you want actually with your photos. You can do practically anything you want because once you take away that how do you say it, borderline of what you can do and you cannot in journalism because it's quite strict. You can basically do anything what you want as long you don't say it's journalism. It's a personal document. So I began collecting. I began seeing the pictures that I collected, and I began to write a fictional story out of it. So from the end until from the beginning until the end of the book, I have like a storyline that I initiated myself. So the reader will also use their imagination of what kind of pictures is this. And I only use a certain codes in some pages to as a guideline of that storyline. So I don't tell what the storyline is. I let the pictures guide the imagination of the readers of my book. So like the picture like this, and also this is totally random. It's only aesthetics that guides them together, cohesively. But aside from that, it's totally uh, different contextually. I just recontextualize and put it as a book as a whole. So that was interesting for me. It was an interesting experiment and it was a good experience. I learned a lot. And the pictures, I relived the pictures also. I haven't seen it in 6, 7 years since I shot it. So it was kind of cool also to scan it and see it. Oh, I took that picture. I never knew that I could take that kind of picture. So that was kind of exciting as well, seeing the pictures for the first time after you took it. Because yeah, digital, You just look at right away, right? So it was kind of exciting. So the book was kind of a good experience. I published it myself, so that was a one thing. And we printed in a small publishing house in printing house in Jakarta, in East Jakarta. It was modestly printed. It was like about 500 print run, so it was quite okay. But I want to share a bit how I did the book itself. So it's about a year to do it. It was I started in mid 2012. So I have a bunch of pictures, about 300, 400 pictures, and I printed away. So one thing that I would suggest to people that I want to do books is you need to print your prints. You need to print your photographs because um, you need to edit the photos. You cannot put 600 photographs in one book. You know, maybe if you're Cartier-Bresson, probably you can do it, or if you're like Sebastião Salgado, he did it also. But I think it's better to edit and to be efficient because our attention span is getting less and less. So editing is a huge part in making a book, in producing a book. So for me, one of the credo is like less is more. The pictures that you leave out is as much important than the one that you put in, because the one you put out actually actually makes the pictures that are printed stronger. If you have a picture like two penguins in one page, probably it's just a penguin. But if just one penguin jumping into an iceberg, probably that's a wonderful photo. You know, so there's like efficiency and repetition takes into place when doing an editing. So editing, it takes a lot of time. I took my time. It took me about like 6 months, 8 months to finally came up to the final edit. I had a couple of friends that I trusted. So that's another thing that I want to share. I always have another friend who I trust their eyes and taste. So if I'm stuck or confused, what should I do? Should I take out this one, or what do you think about this flow? Is it nice, or is it kind of cliche, or is it kind of is too predictable? I will ask them because there's somebody I trust. What I would not try, what I would not suggest, and a lot of people did this is if you ask everyone, because if you don't trust them and you ask too many people, you'll just get more confused. And I did that in the past, and I regret it because I become angry when they say, "Oh, this is not good." Like, how do you know? So I realized actually I don't trust the person. Why should I ask? So you need, I think, from my experience, I will only ask a couple people that I trust the eyes and taste. And during the first book, I learned a lot because book is a 3D object. It's a real life object. So you transfer the experience of seeing in a screen as a two-dimensional object into real life, a three-dimensional object. You have to feel it. You have to see it. You have to touch it. You have to flip through it, whether it feels good, whether it's not, is it working, how the pages fall down. So it all matters. So after the editing, you need to experiment on those elements also. You need to print it out, how big the book is, what's the binding. So all of that matters. So I learned a lot during the process of my first book. And after all that, we printed the book. We went to the printer, said, I want to print a book. I say, okay, pay this amount of money, which is I paid. And then you have to, test the printer. Is it the way you really want it or not? The tonality, the density, or many things, because it's nice on the screen, but it's harder to print. So this is a cover, and finally it was printed in the February, and then we launched it in March. But after a book, after you finally publish a book, the book is on your hands, it's actually not finished. I found another problem and challenge, because you suddenly have these 500 books on your hands lying around on your house. You need to you need to move it. It will be kind of depressing if you cannot sell it. It took a huge hit on your ego as a photographer, of course. But we had a plan. At that time, Facebook was quite one of there's not so many competition from other social media platforms. So we used Facebook to promote our book, to do pre-orders, and we had about 200 pre-orders in 2 days. So I sold almost half of my books in 2 days using Facebook only. And we did events all around Java and Bali. Um, you know, we work together with the local communities over there, and that helps. In 6 months, we sold out the book. So that was a quite experience for me, and I learned a lot, and certainly I had fun. Plus, I had a car, so that was a much more fun experience for me. So we got to it in a cool style. So that was the first book. So there's another project that I want to share. After that, of course, I got more into books because I had a good experience. I want to know furthermore what I can do with this medium. And I always have a second question after the first. Is it fun? If it's fun, I'll do it. But there's also a second question. Why do you want to do it? If it's only for fun, or, you know, because if you only do it for fun, it's just like self-indulgence. So I always ask this question: why do you want to tell the story? So in 2014, it was the 10-year anniversary of Aceh tsunami, and I'm like the like the whole region got hit by a major tsunami, and 250,000 people died. But the most hit part is Aceh, which about almost 180,000 people lost their lives. And for me, it was a region that very, very close to me. I went there in 2006, 2 years after tsunami. I made a lot of friends. I did an interesting story about a guerrilla leader that running for governor, and he won. So I became friends with them. I also made a lot of bunch of friends um, everywhere in Aceh, and we had coffee and everything. It was so much fun. But 10 years after, I want to go back there, but I didn't find a reason. And finally, the 10th year anniversary happened. I thought, I mean, this might be a good time for me to go back. I can hang out with my friends, and I had something important to shoot. But then again, I think this is a sad story to remember. Why would I do that? And suddenly I remember I had a friend who got married because of tsunami. They found each other because of this tragedy. And their name is Dewi and Saiful. I shot their wedding in Jakarta when they moved to Jakarta. They asked me to shoot their wedding, so I did. And I always remember how among all this tragedy, it's life, it's bad, it's bitter, but there's always something beautiful that you can find, and both of them are that kind of story. So I want to go there and make something for them because they're very good friends of mine, and also to go back there again. So I shot for 2 weeks a series of pictures that I never done before in color and with medium format. So for 2 weeks, I went around to the places that related to the tsunami itself. And I went to museums, I went to places that was worst hit by the tsunami. So this is I took this photo in a hotel that survived the tsunami in Malabo. Sorry, in Chalang. The whole Chalang city was all wiped out. And I put like a conversation of Devi when he heard the tsunami, and I think 3 months later she went to Aceh to work as an aid worker, where she finally met the husband. So for 2 weeks I go around, shoot the pictures. It was kind of fun. Very hot, but really really fun place to work with. And after that project, I did a few dummy books. So that didn't go. They didn't go as a physical. It was not published physically, so it was only available online. You can download it. You can download the whole PDF thing, and I use it as a gift. I gave it to Saiful and Devi, my friend, as their, anniversary of their wedding. So they were very happy. I was very happy to, I was able to create something for them also and for me. Um, another credo that I want to share when I create a project or a book is, how far will you go? Because I had so many projects that I didn't continue because um, for me, I was not willing to go that far because I got bored. I think my energy just got depleted, or didn't have money anymore. I was struggling. So I always ask this question whenever I had that challenge in front of me, during the beginning or during in the middle of the project or a book. So how far will you go? If you're still willing, then I will still continue. So um, yeah, so I'm gonna share one last project, which become my recent, my latest book, called Main Mountains in the Sea. So this book actually one of the first project that I did as a photographer, just way before Encounters, my first book. But at the time when I want to make a book, this project is not yet ready. So, and I don't want to experiment with something that I value very much. So I experiment with something else. And I started it back in 2008. So I was just starting out as a photographer. And at the time, I just want to shoot. I was very, very green as a photographer, also as a person. I see everything fresh. I see everything is beautiful. And I just shot it, published it in a few foreign media. It was nice. And I had a few exhibitions. But I never thought about having a book until a curator in Paris told me that, hey, you should make a book. I think it's something that we should do. It's quite important. And that for me, okay, maybe I should, but how, you know? And that's why I make my first book, Encounters. So I want to know how to make a book. And it took me another 4 years after Encounters. So that was the 2013. I finished the 2017. So in total, I spent like 10 years for this project, and another 2 years from 2017 to 2019 to prepare for the book. So I learned a lot during the first book. That of course is fun. Of course, it's something new. Everything is like a challenge. Every obstacle you can do it. Whatever you can do it with it. But after you know all that, you just knew what you cannot do and what you should do if you can. So for this project, I worked with a lot of more people that more capable than me. Like for instance, design. I contacted a proper designer that we worked together for the design, the concept, and all. So he came up with this idea of like a continuous cover like this. I will never thought of that, but we worked together for like a year to finally come up with the concept of the book. So from the first book, I realized that you should let people with more expertise than you to help you. So I did. I had a designer. I had the publisher. The first one I published myself, meaning I talk with the printer myself. Although I don't know how to print, I don't know what the term is. I don't know what the pre-press is. So I just like, um, a silly boy wanting a book. So I just go there. But after that, it's more silly to do it all over again. So I had a publisher who helped me with the technical stuff. And for me, it's just like how to pick it just leaves me to do the things that I can focus on, like picking sequencing the photograph, controlling the tonality, and etc. etc. So this is the book. I published it in 2019 with 6x6 Press, an independent imprint in Singapore, a good friend of mine. And we printed in Singapore also. We printed in Singapore because it was recommended by me, and it was nice. So the project itself is about 10 years, and here are the pictures. It's about the community in Indonesia, along the coastlines and volcanoes in Java and Bali. So we have like we are located, Indonesia are located in a ring of fire and home of 150, almost 150 volcanoes. And we also have like a long stretch of coastline, going to about 100,000 kilometers. So along those lines, there are people who believe that in the sea and in the mountains, there are a higher power. And I was very interested in that faith, in that belief. So I went to these places and documented, and to see also how I feel about it. And I feel really good. I felt really good. And it was a kind of addiction for me to go to find other places. Some are similar, some are not working. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't feel it. It's not in here. So I began that journey for 10 years, and yeah, for 2 years I began sequencing the pictures, and had to make a lot of difficult decision of not putting in the pictures. So because you're so attached for 10 years photographing, I know how hard it is to photograph this. It has to be in, but then again, it's okay to not have it, so it takes a while to finally came at peace that, okay, you should leave it out. You have to do it now while you're logical. Maybe tomorrow you'll say, I need that picture and it will be bad. So yeah, so it's quite an emotional project for me, this Man Monsters and the Sea book. And here are the process that maybe I share a few pictures about it. It's a mock-up. Sorry, it's not. It's a print. It's a print run that we tested, and it was okay. And it was a caption card and everything. We tested every tonality in the publish in the printer, like every run that we tested, that is the tonality right or not. Very technical stuff, and I didn't know anything about it. I just acted that I know. I still don't know how it works. So I have a publisher who helps me. Oh, that's okay. We run it. Okay, we run it. So that's about it for me in the technical stuff. And that's me when during the last day of printing, because I was so grumpy. I was in a bad mood because we just wasted the whole stack of paper, because there's like a shadow that becomes very dark and it just missed on us. And we had to repeat that for another 3 hours to reprint that. So I was not really in bad mood, but eventually the book was fine. So yeah, I think that's about it that I can share. I'm sorry if I talk a bit too fast, but yeah, I can answer the question after this, and I think the discussion can go on from here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ron. A few questions. Two questions from To Issue. Are they all in black and white? I assume your images. And also, same person is asking, how many pages would you recommend in a book?
How many pages? Well, there's no exact answer, and I'm certainly not an expert. I'm just a photographer. I think you need to talk with a publisher, a book publisher, for that, because I think a publisher will know better, and I think he or she also need to know what kind of pictures are you bringing. Is it like a 5-year project? Is it a 1-year project? Or how many pictures do you have? So that depends also, and it also depends how do you. What kind of book that do you want? You want a coffee table book or just a simple book? So it all depends. There's so many elements in it. But for me, at least if I can talk from my side, I prefer very, very simple book. I will not do a book that has more than 50 images, because I
50.
think 50. I think I will
50.
never do. Yeah, 50. I will not do a book that has more than 50 books, because our attention span will lost in the middle anyway. So it has to leave a mark. It has to leave a mark.
And then Ronnie, your book, the pictures you print only on one side or both sides in a page, both sides.
Just one page. So what I show you is a spread. So it's 2 pages, left and right, recto and verso.
There are some spread, but not all are spread, right? Spread
Say again,
means
sorry.
across.
Oh yeah, sorry. So the first book is spread, like the whole page. It's a double spread. So 2 pages contains 1 photo, right? So the second book is also a spread, but only 1 photo in one side, right?
Okay.
Text on the other side or empty?
Say again.
Text on the other side, the empty side. Or...
Yeah. Either empty or there's a text accompanying the page. Yeah. So for the main models, also the same. It's one-sided, but it's a spread, but it's empty on the left side. It's there's a picture on the right.
Okay. So another question: what is the color profile, RGB or CMYK, for Photobook publishing?
Oh, that's a good question actually. From a camera, we have either RGB or sRGB. I think if I should use like Leica, M is all sRGB. But if you want to print it to a printer, you have to do this process called pre-press, meaning all the color, all the tonality, whether black and white color, it doesn't work on the printer. So you have to transfer, you have to convert it into a certain profile called what do you say? It's each machine, they have their own, so they have their own pre-press stuff which convert your RGB, which is red, green, and blue, to CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. If you shoot color, if you shoot black and white, you can print in one color, which is mono, one tone, and then 2 color duotone and tritone, three colors, meaning three colors, meaning black, gray, and light gray or something. The more inks, the more money that you need to spend.
Okay.
Your paper is sorry, Rony. Your paper is it you printed them in glossy finish or matte finish?
My paper, the first book was, so I only published 2 books. I'm like physically, I only published 2 books. The first book is an art paper, meaning it's a gloss. It's a it's a glossy finish, and I varnish it. I varnish it so the ink would not stain your hands, or And the second book I printed in uncoated paper. Sorry. Fedrigoni tatami. It's coated. Sorry, it's coated, but it's not glossy.
The matte finish.
Yeah, the matte finish, but it's coated.
Okay.
Another question: why you choose not having the caption next to the picture, instead to have a caption card at the back?
Well, certainly somebody has a book that, so they know there's a caption card. So yeah, basically I want people to experience the pictures without the, there's a, because if you read something, reading a text and reading a photo or viewing a picture is totally different kind of method. So I want to keep it like the experience as one method. So I want people to just, enjoy the pictures, and then if they have questions, they can look at the caption card, which is separate in the back.
Okay, thank you. Another question: as I know you published your last book outside of Indonesia, may I know why?
Oh yeah, this is actually I want to explain this before. I have numerous questions. I'm like, am I not nationalistic, not publishing it in Indonesia? Of course not. I mean, like, I just want the best for my book. It doesn't matter where it comes from. But I learned also from the first book that it was kind of low cost when I printed in Jakarta the first time, because at that time I don't have much money to print, so I have to find the simplest publisher possible. The machine is the same, it's Heidelberg. So the machine in Singapore or in China or in Europe is also Heidelberg. but the operator is different. Not that they don't know how to operate the machine. They know very well. They know very well how to operate it. But for what purpose? You know, the first printer I went, because it's so cheap, it's not specialized in art books or graphic books. They also you know, print, you know, labels on Coca-Cola or like some butter products, so, or calendar, you know, something which is more or less, which is like less demanding. Now,
That's
if
detailed.
you're dealing with a photo, yeah, not really detailed, meaning that they know what they want. It has to be like Coke. It has to be red. As long you got it right. I think we're having echoes here. I think.
Okay. Can you hear us? Ron?
So yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So shall we go on to the next question?
I was not finished. I think.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No. I was finished. Almost. Yeah. So with that kind of printer, they print like a label and stuff, and then you're dealing with a photographer who's like very demanding. No, I want this color. No, it needs to be black. It needs to be this gray. You know, and then, you know, this operator. If I were the operator, I would be pissed. Like, yeah, who is this guy telling me what to do, telling my job do? You know, so it took me a while to understand that, okay, I cannot do this. I have to go to a proper printer that knows what I want. So in Indonesia, there are also a few printer, but eventually, because the publisher is in Singapore, it's much easier for me to have a meeting with him there. So I do it there.
Okay. Thank you. Another question. How do you maintain the mood to keep working on long-term projects?
Yeah, so that's like one of the question that I always ask, like, should I do this? Is like, I don't want to do this anymore. I get that all the time, because, well, why do I do this? It's not making any money, you know. Why are you doing this to yourself, Ronnie? But in the end, you took a little bit of break, and then you finally get back. If it's still interesting for you, you always get back. Why did you start? Why? That's why the question are important for me. The quotes that I shared, I always ask that question in the beginning, and also during the project, whenever I feel like, you know, doubt to myself or to the project, like, why am I telling this story? Is it important only for myself? Is it to prove myself, or is it you think it's important? So I just need to answer that question. And also, how far will you go? Are you still willing to go from this point? If not, then you just stop.
Okay.
I have a lot of projects that I didn't continue because, you know, I cannot answer these questions.
Maybe, Ronnie, I think you must have, sorry, Ronnie, probably we must have a purpose for printing it. Like, you want to print it to sell, for charity, you know, something. Then it gets you going.
Yeah, it's correct. Correct. You know, because I think there's a lot of question is, you know, after you print it, there's always, what should I do next? There always is a thing. So, but I mean, like, you're right. We need to have a purpose.
You have a purpose, then it will get you going. Otherwise, you'll be like, you know, you'll be questioning yourself. Why am I doing this? It's not easy. I know I've printed books before. It's not easy.
Another question we have here: how do you know you have to stop and finish your project and publish it as a book?
Most of my projects are based on curiosity. Like the mountain project, I'm curious how I feel going to these places, and I feel good, so I continue with furthermore. And also with the project with Pantura. Like other projects, I always curious about subject. But once I figure it out, I know everything. Not know everything. I don't have that curiosity anymore. Yeah, I think that's enough, because if I don't have that curiosity to know more, I'm just repeating aesthetically. I'm just producing pictures. I'm just collecting pictures that I think are good. I'm no longer feeding my curiosity, and I don't think it's healthy for me. I'm just like, who do I need to prove it for? That I can take good pictures. I think so. I can take good pictures, but is it? I still question, the issue. If I'm not curious, probably there is something else that I'm curious about. So that's when I close the chapter, probably thinking about a book or another project.
Question: when you have personal project, usually what reason or how you choose a project to be a photo book? Is that all project you did, you make a photo book? When you have a
Of
personal
course not.
project. Okay.
Okay, so whether I make a photo book of every projects that I did, right? Of course not, because it's expensive to make a book. So in short, no, because it's expensive. If I have all the money in the world, I'll publish everything and I'm gonna give it for free for everyone because it's nice. But unfortunately, life is not that beautiful, and you still you still have to select what's important or not. And yeah, for me, if I feel it's a book, it's a book. I'll work it because it's a big commitment to do a book. Like for instance, this Man, Mountains, and the Sea project. It takes me 2 years from the first idea until it's finally being printed, and I had to refuse a lot of commitments, like a lot of jobs, to concentrate on this because I think for myself that if I want to do it, I had to do it really full. I cannot do like, okay, maybe I'll do an assignment first. Maybe I'll just postpone the printer because the mood will change. You're on your job mood. You're no longer in your, idealistic, I want to burn the money mood. So it's totally different. So yeah. So if I decided a book, I have to make sure I can commit.
Okay, thank you. Next question:
I think so.
how do you find proper photo book layouts? Do you take part in laying out?
The first book, yes, the encounters, but like for instance, the Aceh, I worked with a friend who suggested me to do this, and I don't say that I can fully take credit that because I copy it from other photo books. Certainly, I'm not that original. I'm like for instance, if you know a book called Invincible City, I was so amazed by this book called Invincible City by Ken Slash, an American photographer, and I just copy it. I'm like, I think this is a great concept. Why not use it? But I mean, like, you
Copy the
don't.
layout, you mean?
Yeah, copy the concept. I'm like, that's quite nice. Why not? I'm not the only one who copy it, but of course, like, because I did the layout myself, but I don't call it my layout because I copy it. But for like Man, Mountain, and Sea, we made it from scratch. I worked with the designer, and he gave me some proposal, whether it's nice or not. So basically, I leave it to the one who's expert on this. I can do InDesign. I can probably save a lot of money doing InDesign myself, but I don't think I would do a good job. And finally made some small mistakes and ruined the 10-year long project. So I don't want to do that. Yeah.
Okay. Next question: how do you compose a page? Like, what pictures can be side by side?
Oh yeah, actually, can I show you one dummy that it was not shown here? So basically, the three books that I shown encounters, the Aceh and also the Memoirs, are practically one picture per spread or per page, right? So there's no pairing on that. You just need to sequence one picture after another. The only sequence you need to do. But I have another project that I want to share actually. I think we have time, yeah?
Yes.
Sharing the whale.
Wait, I just need to find it first. My computer is so messy.
For everyone here, I think Rony also did a project on whale hunting, which is a very interesting one. He spent how long were you there living with the
Oh,
whale hunters?
that was 2 months.
2 months.
That was 2 months. Yeah, 2 months, but not the whole 2 months. I need a city life. So yeah.
In how Mahera, yeah. What was that?
La Malera. So oh, it's not working. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna share it again. Sorry guys, I'm not really that savvy with the Zoom thing. So all right. So there was this project called Sugar. It's basically I documented sugar factory along Java because we used to be the largest, I think second largest producer of sugar during the Dutch occupation when we were still called Dutch East Indies. And back in 2012 and 11, I did a project, a small project. We visited about 12, 13 sugar factories in Java. And yeah, it's in color. And I photographed the culture that surrounds it because apparently people still believe that if you don't do a certain ritual that it will not work. You know, the machine will not run. And there's always gonna be like evil spirits that will, put down, when the production is going. So this I want to share that we did a pairing of each, not each, some of the pages, and it's harder to do because you need to find pictures that complement each other, you know, because if you just select the pictures that, oh, this is good, I'm just gonna put another good one, and pictures are good, can be good, but if it has big power, I'm gonna say power, yeah, it will compete to each other, it will kill each other, like putting two egos in one room. So you have to find certain images that can work along in one page. For this one, I guess it's working because it's not like a thumping picture. It's just like very subtle, and then I think the elements of the grass, or it works. So yeah, I mean, like, it's a good pairing for me. It's complementing. It make the page works. Like, for instance, also I think the elements and then also the shadows make the both of the pictures work. And it's not like a powerful picture on its own. I mean, like, it can be a standalone, but I think when paired like this, it works better. Of course, there are pages also being left standalone because I think this is very, very striking photo. And to put another one, it just gonna weaken the power of the photographs. You can see also what connects this. It's very simple. I didn't see it at first. A mentor taught me this, and a very experienced photographer. You can see the rounded patterns, on the left photo and then also on the right. You don't notice it at first, but your eyes psychologically know that, and it says this is a good spread. So yeah, that kind of pairing, it just complements the pictures. Like, this one is a kind of striking photo, so we just leave it alone.
Shall we go to the next question?
Sure.
Okay, I'm in the process of producing my first photo book. I would like to know how should I arrange my photos so that it can show a continuity, but also at the same time not monotonous. Thank you.
Sorry, say again.
I'm in the process of producing my first photo book. I would like to know how should I arrange my photos so that it can show a continuity, but also at the same time, it is not monotonous.
Hmm. That's a hard thing to answer. You know, if you don't look at the pictures. But I think the rule is, you need to take your time. I think we need to edit the picture ourselves, and it will not happen in a fortnight. So as long we still feel not comfortable with the edit, with the sequence, we just leave it as is, and then you come back when you have a clear mind. But also, we shouldn't follow our how do you say it, ego too much, meaning that, oh, I took that picture, you know, it has to be in. But like I said before, but I know it's repetition, but I know I have to get it in, but I know you will make it back. So you have to fight between yourself that, you know, it has to be in, but I know it doesn't need to
So
be.
like
But
so like what you said, having someone you trust,
yeah,
a
that
third
helps.
person would be helpful.
Yeah, that's very very much help. But you need to trust the eye and the taste of the person. If they
Yes.
say something really, you know, not really attacking, can be hurtful. But you know, you need to take it. And also maybe there's a photographer that I know. He doesn't look at his photograph at all for 2 years, and then he came back for 2 years
Oh,
and totally detached from the photograph that he took. That he will objectively see the pictures as somebody else's, so he can take better judgment. The picture, okay, this is out. You know, I don't care. This is bad. You know, just delete this, and it works faster. But it takes 2 years to ignore them. You know, so it's not a short process. Also,
okay. Any tips on sequencing? I think you addressed that, right?
I guess so. Yeah, you need to take. I think we need to take your time, and it's also always nicer to print it out. It doesn't have to be a nice print. Just, you know, a normal Xerox print can do. Yeah, you just need to lay it out. I will do that for a book and lay it out at night, listening to good music, or whenever your mind is clear. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I do that. And once you're done, I know you're done. You have to you just go to the design and printer right away, because you can change. Like, no, it's not good, and it will never stop. So once you know that night that, okay, this is it, you just stop. You don't ask anyone.
Okay. Have you ever been stuck in the middle of your project? I see your project always a long-term project. So what did you do to maintain it or get back on track?
I think I answer, but you
Yeah,
know,
you.
not every project that I do finishes. A lot of them didn't continue. A lot,
Huh.
but you know, but if I spend more time, longer time, like, you know, probably 5 years, 6 years, of course, I'm kind of like self-obliged to to finish it, or I'll waste those 5 years. You know, instead of like something that I just started for like 3 weeks, I can probably, it's not working. But there are,
Mm.
there are projects that I just left out. I have like a couple of projects that put on hold for 2 years now, because I'm kind of interested with something else. So I pursue that project more and just put it in drawer for that project for now. But I know I will go back again to that subject.
Okay. Ronnie, because your project is long term, have you ever think to change the theme in the middle of the project because you see something more
Mm,
interesting?
yeah, of course. Of course, I'm not, because your mind, your whole being as a person also changes. I mean, like it affects how you think, affects how you know, see issues. I mean, like I was a hardcore photojournalist like probably 5 6 years ago. Now I'm more, yeah, I don't think that's important. And then I'm like, I think it's still important, but I don't feel that it's that interesting anymore for me to work for like the big publications. I think this is more interesting. So I think it changes the way you feel. Of course, it changes the way how you approach the subject for the project that you're doing. You know, the way I sequence the project will probably be different, like 5 years ago, or if I do it now.
I think after this COVID, many views will change.
Oh, of course, of course. I think we'll be probably. Uh, do this
more
more
relaxed.
often.
Ada pertanyaan, ada apa yang membuat Pak Rony memulai setiap project yang udah dijalani saat ini? What makes you start your project that you have started?
Simple curiosity. I'm just curious. I'm just a very curious person since I was a kid. You know, I will always ask my mom, like, why does the TV works? Like, yeah, because it has electricity. What is electricity? Like, something like that, you know, but always
curiosity.
But yeah, curiosity. But instead, when I was growing up, like now, I'm like, instead asking my mom, I will ask myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's another question on sequencing, which you answered. Do you sequence with printouts? What size, or do you do it on your computer?
For assignments, for short assignments, for like a day assignment or for like a week assignment for a job, I'll do it without a print. You know, I'll just use an Adobe Bridge or Photomechanic, whatever it is. It's in your laptop, and I just send it. But for like a bigger project, a longer project, like an exhibition or a book, then for me it's a must to print out. You know, probably like half an A5 is enough for me, or an A5 itself is fine. That's about 4R, 4R. I think that should be enough.
10 by 15.
Or if you like or if you have like
the
a
postcard
normal
size. Probably.
Yeah, postcard. Postcard is perfect. Postcard perfect. Like if you print it with a normal printer, like an A4, you just divide it by 2. Then I think that's a perfect size.
Okay. Which one do you prefer, making a photo book or doing solo exhibition?
I like making photo books. I like making photo books. I mean, like
any
for
reason
me,
why?
Because it stays longer. I mean, like I had 2 exhibitions already this year. And like one at the Leica store and one in the Singapore. I mean, like during the opening, it makes you feel good. I'm like, this is something that I work. You celebrate it, makes you feel important a bit, you know. Like, okay, you're, but you know, after a day or two, you're just like, yeah, you need to do next. But I think with a book, you feel good also. But in a way, you're good with yourself that okay, I did this. I should be proud of this. But also, you know that you're producing something that will last more than just like 2 weeks or a month. So I prefer that, and yeah, I like photo books from the start.
Okay, thank you. How about the cover photo? How do you decide?
Oh, yeah, that was the one of the longest process that I had to do with the designer. I had an idea about like doing a pattern because I don't want to do like, okay, man, Mother's Day, put a man on it and then this mountain, right? So this is very much cliche, and we had a lot of discussion, heated discussion with the designer, and finally I go, hey, you know, I had this picture. I'm gonna show you the picture. I had this picture, and why not we just blow it up, and then the pattern is nice. It looks like it's a mountain, it's a caldera in Bromo, and also it looks like a wave of sea, or you know, like a river. So it was kind of a nice thing to have. Wait, I'm just gonna look for it. Okay. Share screen. It doesn't show. Oh, there you go. So this very picture. So basically, I just crop this out and blow it up because I think it looks really nice as a cover. It looks that give it a mysterious thing and then everything. So that was my idea, and then I think the designer refined it, and we decided, okay, this is nice. This is nice picture and nice visual element to use as a cover. It's quite catchy for me. I hope everyone agrees. I think a few people agree also about it. So yeah. So that's how I choose it. Nothing more, nothing less.
Okay. How to connect one photo to another photo so it can unite into one book from the first page until finish?
So yeah, that's actually the art of editing. That's we can talk about hours about this, and we still cannot get anywhere. But the thing is, basically, you're trying to say in one book or in one sequence that it's shot by one photographer. You know, because sometimes we tend to do like, okay, I'm this style, Sebastião Salgado style, and then you also, Big Cartier-Bresson also nice. Oh, also being Alex Webb is nice, but you have this different kind of influence. And of course you have the picture. The picture is still yours, but it's hard to put all together and not think that, is this the same photographer? Because the eye will see it, whether, it looks like it's it sees the visual elements, like how our ears listen to music. Like if you listen to like a pop and suddenly in the middle of the song it's like dangdut or in like a rock. So of course you feel like, oh, what's this? And this is, you're disturbed. So I think it works the same way with your eyes. It has to be consistent. It has to be from the same artist. So that's basically the concept. How do I know? Then you just have to know which one you're comfortable, which one is more you as a photographer. Then you have to choose. Am I more Alex Webb or am I more Sebastião Sargal, for instance?
Another question: do you do a print sale?
I mean, like for now, or
I guess now.
Not. I mean, like I can do that.
Okay, separate topic.
Yeah.
Separate topic. Are your book projects all on film? The quality of your photos are very film-like rather than digital. It's a lovely feeling.
The Encounters was shot in film with the Tri-X and with the Tri-X, Kodak Tri-X and an M6 and a pocket camera. So it's all mostly like 90% on film. But with Many Mountains in the Sea, it's all digital. It's all digital.
There are two questions asking if you have model releases from the people.
No, I don't have. I don't have model releases.
Okay. Pak Abi, where was it? You mean where was this shot taken atau apa Pak Abi?
Correct. This landscape.
This landscape image?
Oh, this landscape? This particular photo?
Yeah.
Oh, it's taken in Bromo, the Tengger Caldera. So, not actually in Mambromo, it's the Tengger Caldera, because it's so huge area. We rode a motorcycle, which is totally horrible experience because we almost fell a few times, but they're very good. They assure us okay. So anyway, we went to the hill because we were going to Semeru from Bromo. So on the very top of that hill, we see this view. So we stopped for a while. So I don't know where it is. I don't know where. I don't know where the exact point is, but it's on the way to Mount Semeru.
Okay, there's a question asking how do you promote your books, which you will share later, I think.
Through Instagram, through events. Yep.
What is the ratio of or proportion of your book? 4:3, 3:2, or 1:1?
My book. I think my month is about 27 by 24 centimeters. But the picture itself is 3:2. It's all 35 millimeters. It's all 35 millimeters for Memoirs in the Sea and Encounters. But for the Aceh project, it was all square format because I shot 6:6.
So different project, different book, different proportion then, yeah.
Yep, correct.
Okay. Anything else? You have a few pictures from your whale project that you could share. because I think that's a very unique. I think Indonesia is one of the last places where there are people who live in the island who actually survive and live by hunting whales. There's a documentary on YouTube. I don't remember it, but Rony actually did a project on that, and it will be really just a quick one, maybe, Rony, you can share, because I think it's very very interesting. It's very far.
So yeah, I mean, like I think there was two before, one in the Philippines, but I think in the Philippines they stopped it already. But so I think this is one of the last whale hunters in the world. So it's a village called Lamalera in Nusa Tenggara Timur, in an island called Lembata. So it takes about like almost a day to go to this place from Jakarta. And they have culture to hunt big fish. So not small fishes, big fishes, since 600 years ago, which is recorded by Catholic missionaries. So that was recorded by the Catholics. And probably it's longer than that, but the longest, the oldest record was 600 years ago, even before Indonesia exists. So yeah, I mean, like I went there for a couple times, 1 month each. And then, yeah, I just spent time with them. I photographed them, their simple life. So yeah, this is what I ever photographed. And they just hunt every time there's like a whale coming in, and then they distribute the meat to the whole village. So they still hunt with, bamboos, harpoons, and also small boats. So it's not industrialized like what the Japanese and Norwegians do, where they hunt.
It's all by hand.
With all by hand. It's not for industry. Yeah.
Yes, it's for their own survival.
Mm-hmm.
And in the documentary, the person that pierces the whale, the person that rows the boat, they all have their proportion when they get the catch. Like who gets the best part, who gets how much. It's amazing.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And they also give the widows, whoever
widows.
So they
take the whale meat.
Everyone gets a share eventually.
They take the whale meat to market to barter other food also. I can't remember on top of my head the documentary on YouTube, but
yeah. So that's one huge slice of the meat, and they will. Because the electricity is kind of limited, so only 12 hours a day. So in order to preserve it, they salted it. So there's no freezer yet at the time when I was there. So
and they don't hunt on Sundays, like Ron.
Yeah, they don't hunt on Sunday. And all,
yeah,
and only a certain type of whale, only a sperm whale, because there's an ancestor thing that they don't want to hunt other whales, especially blue whales, because for them they came to this village because they were safe. They were about to drown on their boat, and then they were told that they were saved by this blue whale. So they're not hunting blue whales. And I asked, how do you differentiate between a blue whale? I mean, like I was like, it's an honest question. I'm like, how do you do it? You just see it with your bare eyes, right? So it's a whale still for me, like from far away. So apparently, a blue whale and sperm whale, they spray
different sprays.
Yeah, different sprays.
Different spray. One is a bit, can identify.
One is just going this way, and one is like going this way. So there's an angle. So like that's quite smart. So that was interesting.
They can identify the whales by the spray. And it's very funny because part of the documentary, they were waiting, and they couldn't find the whale, and they found one on Sunday, but they couldn't hunt because it was the Sunday. They still mostly Catholics here, right? There,
Yeah, mostly Catholics.
Yeah,
Mostly
so
Catholic.
they were not allowed to hunt on Sunday, so they were just seeing the whale pass, hoping that it's still around the area the next day, so that
Yeah.
they can hunt. Anyway, one more question is, what's your most used focal length?
Mm. Say again.
What's your most used focal length? What's your favorite lens, I guess?
I use 35. I use
35?
the M. Yeah, I use the M Semilux 35. I only need that
Okay.
one. It's nice.
Okay. Any other questions? Please unmute yourself. Otherwise,
Sure. I think we still have time. Yeah. I mean, like if anyone want to ask, we can
yeah,
still.
please. Silakan kalau ada yang mau tanya, silakan unmute aja. Otherwise, is this shot on the monochrome?
I wish. I wish.
Oh, so it's post-processed to black and white.
Yeah. It could be in the future.
What photographer ethic we should remember when we take documentary photography?
If you're doing documentary over you need to tell the truth of yourself. I mean, like you're there to tell a story, and you cannot lie. Okay, I'm this and that, and then you're not. It's just like not really a good idea to do that. And also to lie, it's just like a big no because the currency of documentary and for journalism is truth. If they don't trust you, then you're over. And also, there's a wise person, a very wise person, wise photographer, um, said, and it was very much struck me that the most important person is their story, is them, it's not you. So you need to remember that if they don't want to be photographed, then it's fine. Just let it go. You're not the most important person in the world. You're just telling them story.
Okay.
So I think that's it.
Sorry, there's a question. What the editor to make my book? What about if I curate all my pictures just by me? Sorry, Pak Ahmad. Don't quite understand your question. Maybe you can unmute yourself and ask directly to Rony. Pak, maaf Pak Ahmad. Halo. 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 Is it still possible to buy your book, Rony? Oh, sorry Pak. Ya, silakan.
Yeah. When I joined the discussion about how to make photo book, yeah, it needs the editor sometimes. Yeah, I mean, when I use the editor, of course I will pay it for him. What about if I make my book just edit by me and I just share to my friends? What about that?
Yeah, I think it's totally valid to do that. I mean, like it's your work and whatever you want to do it. And if you're confident enough, I think you can do that. And but if you think you need a hub, like for me, I mean, like I can only talk about my experience and what I learned. It doesn't need it's not necessarily applied to everybody, to everyone. So for me, there are people who are more expert than me, who know how to judge on pictures, because sometimes we're very much attached to our pictures, that because when we publish a book, we want to people to see it also, right? If you're confident and just like whatever, this is it, this is me, I don't really care. So, and that's fine. But for me, from my experience, I want to also the 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 book to connect with people. So I need to make a little bit compromise. So it's not totally you know, what I really want 100%, probably like 90%. You know, I will get 10% suggestion. How do I make it so it's not really self-indulgence?
Okay.
I hope that answered the question.
Pa Jerry,
Okay, thank you.
is it possible to buy the book? Yes, I think Rony will share some link at the end of this session.
Oh yeah.
Another question: do you have support for all your photo book projects? If so, how do you find them?
Photobook projects, I want to. Hopefully, in my next book, Leica will, like Jakarta will support me.
Lee, are you still online,
Or,
Lee? Lee Chilun.
I can see Lee is smiling, so I think it's a good sign. But
Rony, one question, yeah. Do you copyright your book?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Anyway, my book, yeah, I self-funded it myself because it's quicker. If I have to wait on the another fund, then you know it will take longer, and by that time I will lose the momentum and my you know my will to do it. So I want to keep that fire. But for my projects, I get support from friends, from my clients. So yeah, in a way they support my project. In a way they support my book. The process of it.
Question from me.
Yeah,
Rony.
Yeah.
Do you edit your own photos for the book? And how is the editor going to choose all the pictures? Or you select by yourself?
My first book, I have a pre-edited set. So from 300 photographs that I pre-selected it, I edited them again to like 100. And I edited them again until probably 40. That I'm quite confident enough that it's me. This is who I am as a photographer. This is what I want to show. But those 40 pictures, I show it to an editor. Another photographer that I very much respected. So he worked with me, and then he edited down to 32 pictures. So it was edited down by him, but also it was already pre-edited that I did a lot of my work on my own also. So it's still me, and the editor is helping me. Okay. Because if you
Excuse me.
Say again?
For the second book also?
Second book, I worked. So second book is more interesting because I worked with a designer who also an editor. So the designer works for design a lot of books from Magnum Photographer and also a few big publications like Stidal. So I was very interested and very excited to work with him and had an experience and exposure working with the big names and interesting books. This is a project in the past. So I trust his eyes. I trust his judgment. So we worked together for a year in the sequence. We will go back and forth with our sets, and then okay, this is not right. What do you think of it? And I will reply in like a week, back and forth until we agreed that okay, this is it. We'll go for it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a question. What are the things to keep in mind while approaching a publisher to publish?
Approaching a publisher to get your book published. That they don't pay for books anymore. Actually, now you need to pay publisher to publish your books, which is a lot of people will yeah. So you don't expect that you get okay. I'll get like 5,000 copies of my books and I got paid the royalty. Very rare. Very, very rare. If you get it, you're very lucky. You need to tell me who's the publisher. Probably I'm gonna steal that from you. But most of the time, the publisher will ask for the production money, and knowing that, I'd rather do it myself. I can have full control and yeah.
Okay. last few questions. Talk about momentum. How do you know it's the time? Time to publish or
time to publish or time to go to a printer?
the question.
Time to publish.
Time to publish.
So time to publish. Time to publish meaning you're done with the project, and then you're like I said, you're willing to spend that commitment, the big commitment for like a year at least to do that project. And time to do a printer, meaning that, okay, you need to do it now. If you're delayed again, it's not gonna happen. So better do it now. While you're still at it.
Okay. How do you find your market? How do you find market for your books and your photography?
How do I find my market? I think I've been around for 15 years. I have a quite, I think I've been around in a few communities, so some people know me, some people know my work. Of course, I try to broaden up my network. I go to photo festival in Southeast Asia. I go to Europe. I meet curators every time I, had the time. And not to find jobs or anything, just to let them know, I'm around in Asia. If next time I send you something, you know that I'm a real person. So those things really important, because in this time of digital, physical, physical networking is really important. And that's why I think after this COVID-19 thing, that's our next challenge, to trust each other again, right? After all this distancing.
Okay, last question maybe here. When do you know that the project is done, that you already can publish it through a photo book? I think you addressed that question earlier.
Yeah. But to amplify it even more, I'm really bored with my picture from my monthly. See, I've been around that for 10 years, so that's a good sign that if you're bored with the pictures, you need to get it done, do it as a book, and forget about it and do another project. So as long you haven't done it as a book, people will say, hey, when that's book coming? And it's okay in the beginning, but if you ask every week by your friends or by your colleagues, you start, it's just annoying. I'm just gonna make a book.
Okay, so talking about books, maybe Rony, you want to share the feelings where friends in Indonesia or outside of Indonesia is able to get a hold of a copy of your book if they want to?
Sure. So I was talking with Jacqueline and Bernard that I want to, maybe if any one of you here wants to get a whole copy, you can actually. We still ship the books internationally and also to within Indonesia. I can share you how to do it. So for Indonesia, it's quite easy. Everybody use Tokopedia, and you have the link here. And then you just order through your apps, or you can order through your apps or your laptop or anything. But for international market, just gonna put it in the chat so you guys can. How do you do it in chat? I'll do it later. But for international market, I work with online bookstore called Unobtainian. It's based in Indonesia, and they ship worldwide. Probably there's gonna be a little bit delay in shipping, but not so much. We still ship. It's just a bit of delay, probably like a week more before it reaches the postal office in Jakarta. But we still ship during this situation. For Tokopedia, probably like a day or 2 days delay, but we still ship. So yeah.
So this Unobtainium is there.
Unobtainium is the bookstore. You can also follow them on Instagram. They also sell the Indonesian books.
Yeah, maybe you leave that for a while so that people can take a look.
Yeah.
Sorry, one more question. This, what's your question? Can you maybe unmute and ask directly?
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm Ete from Colmus community. We are multimedia community in Jepang, East Tenggara, and like we are far away from the good printed like like publisher or something. It's very difficult for us to publish a book in our place. So we like personally, I'm just printed my book, my own book, and it's really difficult because when we print it and it's getting wrong, and we try to figure out how to get the like how to figure it out or something like that because it's far away and we can't do like consult or something like that directly. And but what I want to do, like I still want to do next project like that. But like you say, it's really expensive. Like the book printed is really expensive, and even the ship to our city is expensive. So when it's you said it's commitment come first to do the photo books, but I think like the second one is the fun to make the photo books. But and then the the third is like the momentum. Like for me, like what from what you're explaining that the three options is very important for us to think about. But like if you just have like you have done your photo book project and then you finish it and then when you want you think the momentum is close, but then you doesn't have enough funds to get the quality of the book you want. Like which one? What will you do? Or you just like pending it until you get the enough funds, or you just like slow down the book quality of it.
Okay. Yeah, I think I get a question. So thank you, Sekolah Musa. Sekolah Musa is a really great initiative from Kupang, from Timor Island. Yeah, so they're very they have a cool initiative there. So you guys should check it out if you can. And they're very cool people, young people, photography and film. So check out their Instagram also. Yeah, that was a good question, and I think if you have the momentum and you don't have the resources to do it, to make it, to materialize it, and of course it's a bummer. You know, you want to do it. You know, you really want a book or you really want to have an exhibition, but yeah, sometimes you just don't get what you just put it and then wait until the opportunity arises and you just grab it. I'm like, it sounds cliche, but that's what happened to me. It takes me like 10 years to finally finish a project. It takes me like 2 years to finally produce this book. And it's not only because I don't, I'm like, not only I took my time, you know, I have to reserve my funds also because it's not cheap to do the book, you know. So it's always a struggle on all fronts to do this. It's all energy, your financial side, and also your time. But eventually, when the time comes, you just need to grab it. You just need to see clearly. You just need to grab the opportunity if you see it. But you don't need to give up on it. It doesn't need that. It doesn't happen right now. You just said, okay, it's not gonna happen. You know.
Persistence.
Yeah, I'm like Martin Parr. When I met Martin Parr, I'm like, Bernard is laughing because he has a history with Martin Parr. He has a special connection with Martin Parr. When he lived here, like he's a very, very, very interesting character, and he has this book called I don't know, it's a black and white thing, I think, and he told me that it took him 30 or 20 years to publish that book, and that was his first work. You know, so he had other works, color works, supermarket work, fashion work that was published along the way first, before that first documentary project that he did when he was younger, when he was very young, a black and white photograph by Martin Parr. So, you know, that happens. And finally he got famous and everybody wants something out of him and he published it. You know, probably not his best work, but, you know, he published it.
He has a lot of fans. Okay. It's almost 9 o'clock, so thank you very much, everyone. Terima kasih waktunya. Thank you, Rony.
Yeah,
thank
you
you
very
for,
much.
for
Thank you.
sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I hope to see you all again. Again, if there's any other questions, you can always maybe email us or find us in the Facebook. Otherwise, we will see you again in the next session. Thank you very much, everyone. Stay safe. Good night, Rony. Thank you, Rony. Terima kasih semuanya. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Good night.